So usually what happens whenever I'm passing out flyers, is I'll go up to a person and I'm like, hey, is it okay if I interrupt you just for a quick second? And they're just like, okay, yeah, okay, fine. And I'm like, hi, my name's Egypt, what's your name? And then they'll tell me their name. Then I'll say, hey, I just wanted to ask you if you've ever heard of RANSOM or if you know anything about RANSOM. If they say no, I'm like, perfect. I get to tell you all about it. Like, I love it. And so I'll say RANSOM is a on-campus student-led ministry. And what we do is we meet every Monday and we fellowship, we hang out, we listen to great music, and we play games. It's always life-changing. It's always amazing. And I promise it'll be the best thing you do this semester if you decide to come.
RANSOM initially started off as a male Bible study and later transitioned to being a co-ed Bible study. It became co-ed because one of the soccer players named Alicia Whitehead wanted to start a female Bible study. And the only way I knew to help her was to allow her to come to the male Bible study. I was like, I can't teach you how to do this, but I can show you. And she would be in the back kind of taking notes, understanding how we did things. And then I had this idea, we should do a co-ed night. And that would be the one Monday out of the month, we would have a co-ed Monday where we get the guys and girls together, and it allowed us to help recruit for the girls' Bible study. And so every Monday of the month, we would meet separately until the last Monday of the month, and then the last Monday of the month, we would meet as a co-ed Bible study, and it would be lit, like stupid lit. And when I went to the NFL, they kind of got carried away with co-ed Bible studies, and they started doing co-ed Bible studies every Monday instead of once a month. But hey, it worked out. So
one thing about RANSOM, we gonna worship God. We gonna worship God. Another thing is that it's a place of consistency. I feel like every time that I came, before I was a leader, before I really got down with RANSOM, there was always consistent love, consistent grace, consistent people. I also feel like RANSOM is a place where we don't only care about your faith development, but we care about your personal life. We care about your career, and we prepare you for anything that life throws at you. So we're a wraparound organization. Like, we don't hit just one aspect of your life. We go for it all.
And so when I think about what RANSOM offers me, it's a chance to be able to lead without any bounds. You know, I see leadership differently now. Like the concept of leading alongside, I learned it at RANSOM. But I was able to identify the Philippians 2. Paul said, I will send Timothy to you because I have no one else like him who will show genuine concern for your welfare.
So we're enhancing and advancing the kingdom of God, which is what we're here to do. So,
well, I knew that RANSOM was going to cease to exist at Samford way before it ever became dormant. This is the reason why when you fail to have a leadership vacuum or a leadership process or leaders in waiting, when you can't really identify the next leader, things die. And so we couldn't find the next leader. But once we got people who would just come in and they would take ownership of it, then I knew we would have a chance to get it back.
I went to UAB. When I went over to Samford to take part in their RANSOM and enjoy their Monday nights, I know it was packed in there. I know it was a big deal, and I know that was where RANSOM started. So for to hear about how I had to go back and just help restart it and get it back on its feet, I knew it was big, but I just knew God had me every step of the way.
We chose Booker to help restart RANSOM at Samford University, really because he was available. He was willing. He realized that RANSOM at Samford plays such an integral role in RANSOM as an organization overall. There's really no RANSOM at other campuses without having RANSOM at Samford.
I don't know exactly what moment it was when we started to see success. I mean, as soon as we started having consistent attendance at Samford's Ransom. Maybe about toward the end of the second semester that we were on campus, we started to see consistent attendance. But above that, there were a few that just kind of stuck.
Just being the first campus leader kind of after he resurrected, it was challenging because on my campus I didn't see anyone that really was serious about it. But the fact that RANSOM has an amazing family where it's just not at Samford and it's also at UAB, I was blessed to have those relationships. And so I stepped into that role with confidence. I stepped into that role with the level of freedom that I'm the man for the job.
Well, I heard about RANSOM through Nelson Jordan, the former campus leader. You know, he played football with us, and coming into college, I just wanted a community, and he was someone that I saw as like a big brother, you know, so anything he was doing, I was doing, so RANSOM was one of them, so I just said, I'm gonna do it.
I originally heard about RANSOM from a former football player, Nelson Jordan. One day at football practice, he used to get up and talk about RANSOM after practice, and he personally came up to me out there and like kind of invited me. And I remember my first RANSOM was actually a COVID RANSOM. It was like, I watched it over live and I was like, yeah, okay. And then came around the next semester, my second semester, we kind of moved back in person, I believe that was, or it might have been the next year. And he invited me out to that one too. Him and Tabos and Titus, they kind of all invited me out, and I would say the experience, I liked it. So
My first experience was, at first I was a little bit scared, I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, what is happening in here? It was very loud. I come from a very traditional background in the faith, and so I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening in here? Like, why are these people being so loud? And then they turned the lights off for worship, and I was like, oh no, oh no, I have to go. But I stayed, and I ended up, like, as I was there, I kind of got this feeling. It was like this is where I need to be. And so by the end of my first experience, or my first time at RANSOM, I had went up to, at the time, another student leader who's now the campus leader, Shania Blocker, and I told her I wanted to be a leader.
what RANSOM is now at Samford campus is light years from where it was when it became dormant. I mean, we have students who are excited, they're engaged. We have people like Egypt doing documentaries and productions like this. So it's light years ahead of where it was. And even more, I believe the RANSOM at Samford will be a beacon of hope for other campuses to start a RANSOM. Kudos to Shania for her unprecedented leadership to take over the reins at Samford and really not only lead the RANSOM at Samford, but the RANSOM at all the other campuses into a new dimension as relates to the history of RANSOM.
I have been at RANSOM for 4 years, 4 months, and 6 days since Monday, November 26, 2018. I currently serve as the Samford campus leader, as well as the president of the Student Executive Leadership Council.
I know, so our campus president, or our campus leader, who is also SELC president, which is our Student Executive Leadership Council, her name is Shania Blocker. She is one of the most amazing people I know, but she's also one of the most introverted people I know, which is kind of very ironic for the position that she's in right now. And her life, I've seen her life transform the most, because she's had to go from a person who would take her space, like who would like to be alone and who would be irritated with people around, to now being one of the most like outgoing, outreaching person. And she's completely transformed RANSOM Samford University and RANSOM as a whole. And so that's probably one of the biggest transformations. And yeah, I love her.
I actually did not want to be a leader. I really wanted to just support whoever was leading. But I realized that if I wanted to Ransom to continue on my campus, I had to step up and be a leader. So long story short.
It was really crazy. The first time I came, Josh Mathiasen was speaking, and I told him I'd come just to check it out and watch him speak and listen to the message he had. And I knew I was looking to get involved in a student ministry, but I didn't think that it would be RANSOM. And so when I came, the first thing was the people greeting me were over the moon that I was there. And that truly impacted me because it felt like I was wanted, even though they didn't know me yet.
Man, being a leader these past 2 semesters has transformed my life in ways I couldn't have even imagined. Like, my confidence is much better. Like, I finally spoke at a RANSOM, something that I thought I would never do. It's just, being a leader here translates to being a leader in life.
Being a part of RANSOM has definitely like impacted my relationship with Christ. It's kind of like, I like to say, enhanced it. I mean, at first, like coming into Samford, I knew nothing but like football in general. Like, I mean, I grew up a church child, you know, going to church every Sunday, singing in the church and all that. But I never really understood like how Christ can actually move you in different ways and stuff until I got with RANSOM. And that kind of has really helped me out a lot in my journey now.
RANSOM has greatly changed my life, and I'm so grateful for it. And I think if any student were to ask me why I do RANSOM, it's not really why I do RANSOM, it's for what. Like, I do RANSOM for what. And the what is because, like, passion for Christ.
Look at it, a lot of people look at the sacrifice I'm making to do RANSOM. But at the same time, what you also have to understand is I get a chance every day to wake up with purpose. At 34 years old, I'm hanging around 18 to 23, 24-year-olds who are at this crossroads in life where they can do whatever they want to do. And so it's amazing when you see that, what I call the light bulb go off. When you're looking at a man or a woman in the eyes and you're trying to help them to see purpose in Christ. And then when they get it, it's the most beautiful thing you could ever experience. It's worth more than gold. It's worth more than a big house. It's worth more than money. That when you can see somebody all of a sudden get on track with Christ. And so I do RANSOM because it's meaningful.